She sent $80,000 home, 10 years, every single month, without missing once. And when she finally flew back to see what it built, the roof was still leaking. Her brother had dropped out of school 2 years ago. Nobody told her, and her mother, before she even put her suitcase down, asked when the next transfer was coming. $80,000, no house, no business, no savings. And according to the World Bank, and she's not the exception, she is the rule. Stay with me. Because what happened to her is probably happening to someone you love right now. My name is Nurai, and I spend way too much time thinking about the psychology of family and money. If you've been sending money home for years and quietly wondering why nothing ever seems to change, this video is for you. Hit subscribe and give this a thumbs up if it helps you out. Her name was Amara. She left at 23, one suitcase, a nursing certificate, and a promise. She kept that promise every single month for 10 years. She didn't take holidays. She wore the same winter coat for 6 years. Every time she thought about spending on herself, she thought about her family first and sent the money instead. Here's what she imagined was happening back home: her mother saving a portion, her brother David using his school fees to build a future, the house being maintained, the family moving forward. Here's what was actually happening. The moment her transfer hit, the family's lifestyle expanded to absorb every single coin. Her mother bought more expensive food because Amara is sending money now. Her brother David discovered the money came whether he studied or not. Aunties showed up every month around transfer day. Cousins she barely remembered called with emergencies. Nobody saved. Nobody built anything. Because why would they? The money always came. And Amara, sitting alone in a foreign country, sacrificing her youth, her social life, her health, had accidentally created a system that made her family completely dependent on her while making herself completely unable to build her own life. When she finally came home after 3 years and saw the reality, she didn't just feel heartbroken, she felt stupid. And that feeling, that specific feeling of being a good person who worked hard, did everything right, and still ended up with nothing to show for it, that is exactly what we need to talk about today. Now, before I continue Amara's story, I need to show you something that genuinely disturbed me when I first found it. Because when I started researching this topic, I assumed Amara's situation was unusual. I assumed most families receiving money abroad were quietly saving, quietly building. I wanted to believe that. I was wrong. The World Bank tracks over $647 billion sent home by workers abroad every single year. That is more than all foreign aid combined, more than all foreign direct investment. The single largest movement of money from working people to their home countries on the entire planet. Now, here is the number that should stop you cold. Over 60% of households receiving that money show no measurable increase in assets after 5 years. Not 10%, not 20%, 60%. And I want to ask you something directly. Answer this in your head before you keep watching. If someone showed you that number before you sent your first transfer, would you have sent it the same way? Most people say no, but here is the cruelest part. The people sending the money are also losing. Research from the Migration Policy Institute found that the average person sending money home saves 40% less for their own retirement than someone with the exact same income who sends nothing. Two people, both losing, both thinking they are doing the right thing. Now here's what nobody talks about, and this part is important. What happened to Amara's family has a name in behavioral psychology. It's called learned helplessness by proxy. When you consistently solve a problem for someone, fully, reliably, every single month, you don't just solve their problem. You teach their brain that the problem doesn't require their effort, that discomfort is temporary, that rescue is coming. This is not laziness, this is biology. It happens in laboratories, it happens in governments, and it happens in your family's WhatsApp group every time that transfer notification arrives. But the sender has their own trap, and honestly, it might be the more dangerous one. Let me ask you something directly. When was the last time someone called you a hero at your job? Probably never. You clock in, you work, you go home. But in your family, you are everything. You are the one they call. Your name is mentioned at every gathering with pride. Now ask yourself, what would it feel like to stop being that person? For most senders, that feeling is unbearable, and that, not obligation, not even love, that is often the real reason the money keeps going, even when it stops making sense, even when it starts destroying their own future. Amara told me, I kept sending because if I stopped, I would have had to admit that 10 years of my life had been wasted, and I wasn't ready to face that. That is not a money problem. That is grief, wearing a money mask. When Amara stood in her family's home, suitcase still in her hand, she made a decision, not an angry one, a quiet, exhausted, clear one. She was going to change how she loved her family because she finally understood something that took her 10 years and $80,000 to learn. Unconditional money is not the same as unconditional love. She sat across from her mother at the kitchen table. She opened her phone and showed her the total. 10 years, every transfer, the running number, $80,000. Her mother looked at the screen for a long time without saying anything. Then she said, I didn't know it was that much. Not hiding it, just nobody had ever shown her. The money arrived in pieces. It was spent on real things, daily life, surviving. Nobody ever added it up. And here is what that moment taught Amara. Your family is not your enemy, but they are making decisions without information you have been withholding. You cannot fix a problem that nobody in the room is allowed to see. So here is exactly what Amara changed. 3 steps. Write these down. Step 1. Split your giving into 3 buckets. Bucket 1. Living support. Fixed amount. Specific expenses only. Food, medication, school fees. Paid directly where possible, not as a lump sum that disappears into a general account. Bucket 2. Investment money. Tied to one specific measurable goal, a room, a small business, land. This money only moves when there is a concrete plan and you are involved in the decision. Bucket 3, and this is the one most senders have never created, your own future. And before you say you'll fund that after the family is stable, I need you to hear this. The family will never signal that they are stable enough for you to start. There will always be a new school fee, a new roof, a new emergency. If you are waiting for permission from your circumstances to save for yourself, you will wait forever. Bucket 3 gets funded first, minimum 20% of everything you earn before a single dollar crosses a border. This is the oxygen mask principle. You put yours on first, not because your life matters more, but because a broke provider helps nobody. Step 2. Show your family the number, the real total, not to shame them, to include them in reality. Families operating without the full picture cannot make good decisions. You have been protecting them from financial truth, and it has quietly hurt everyone. Step 3. Give them ownership. Replace dependency with a shared goal, a family business, a property, an emergency fund everyone contributes to, including them. When people have ownership, their behavior changes. Passengers just wait for the driver. Now, I want to tell you exactly what happened after that conversation, because most people, when they imagine having this talk with their family, picture a fight. They picture resentment. They picture the family turning against them. That is almost never what actually happens. After Amara showed her mother the number, after the silence, after the tears, something shifted. Her mother didn't get angry. She got quiet. And then she said something Amara had never expected to hear. She said, I didn't realize what it was costing you. 4 words that changed everything. Because here's the truth about your family that nobody says out loud. Most of them are not trying to drain you. Most of them genuinely do not know what it costs you to send that money. They see the transfer. They don't see the coat you didn't buy, the holiday you didn't take, the pension contribution you skipped, the life you put on hold. When you show them, really show them, most families respond with love, not greed. Amara restructured everything after that conversation. Her mother's living expenses became a fixed, direct payment to specific bills, not a lump sum. Her brother David, the one who dropped out, was given a structured business loan with a real repayment plan, not a gift. a loan with dignity attached to it. And for the first time in 10 years, Amara opened a savings account in her own name and committed to filling it before anything else moved. 6 months later, she told me something I want to leave you with. She said, "I didn't love my family less when I changed. I finally loved myself enough to love them properly." Here is the last statistic I want you to carry with you today. The average person sending money abroad starts at age 24 and makes no structural change to how they give until age 41, 17 years. If you are 27 right now and you change nothing today, statistics say you will not change until you are 44. What could your life look like if you changed at 27 instead of 44? What could your family's life look like? You are allowed to be the generation that breaks this cycle